dass seine Exzellenz Dr. Steinmeier die Fragen der Journalisten auf Arabisch beantwortet. Und jetzt, and now I will speak in English.
On m'a dit que vous parlez le français aussi. Est-ce que c'est vrai?
Ben c'est vrai, oui.
Ah bon?
C'est vrai, je parle un peu de français.
Bon, très bien. Alors, merci beaucoup de nous recevoir ce soir.
Il n'y a pas de quoi, je suis là pour donner une claire image de nos opérations. Je suis très heureux d'être avec vous.
ISIS is as much Islamic as the KKK is Christian. Don't they have a cross? Don't they do everything in the name of religion and Christ? Don't they believe that Christ compels them to lynch and kill people of African descent? Can one really say that the KKK is a Christian organization? There are other groups that one can point to. There are other massacres that were committed in the name of keeping certain countries or regions clear of non-Christians. There are people like this also in the Jewish faith that have nothing to do with Judaism. There are people like this in the Hindu faith that have nothing to do with Hinduism. For anyone to argue that Daesh is Islamic is preposterous. In the Islamic faith, the Quran reveals that you have your faith and I have my faith. And you're free to practice your faith and I'm free to practice mine. What greater sign of tolerance and acceptance do you have than this?
In recent days and weeks, we've seen headlines talking about Saudi Arabia's leadership as being reckless, impulsive, aggressive. These aren't the adjectives we normally hear.
Only too recently ago, people were criticizing Saudi Arabia, including in your media in Britain, for not taking a leadership role. Saudi Arabia needs to step up and take a leadership role. The West cannot be the policeman of the Gulf. The West cannot protect the Saudis. Make up your mind. Do you want us to lead or do you want us to support? And if you want us to support, who's going to lead? استعداد المملكة لإرسال قوات خاصة ضمن التنظيم الدولي لمواجهة داعش في سوريا.
وأن أي محاولة لصرف الأنظار عن هذا الموضوع وإثارة الفرقعات الجانبية لن يزيح عن الذاكرة صورة إيلان الذي ألقى به البحر منكبا على وجهه في شاطئ مهجور. واسمحوا لي أن أستذكر معكم أبياتا للشاعر العربي عبد الرحمن العشماوي وهو يقول: يا بحر يا بحر لا تغرق الطفل الذي هرب، وارحم أخاه وأما تشتكي وأبى، رفقا بهم أيها البحر العميق فقد، رفقا بهم أيها البحر العميق فقد فروا من الشام لما أبصروا اللهب، خافوا على العرض والأرواح فالتحفوا، ليلا بهيما أبى أن يظهر الشهب، أتوك يا بحر والأهوال عاصفة، أتوك يا بحر والأهوال عاصفة، فارفق بهم فارفق بهم إنهم قد أصبحوا غربا، رأوك أرحم من أبناء جلدتهم، واستأمنوك فلا تقطع بهم سببا.
Of Chatham House. You say Saudi Arabia is a much older monarchy than we think, 300 years, I think you said. Why is it taking the kingdom so long to appoint a foreign minister who is not a member of the royal family? Because I believe you are the first. So, and correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think there were foreign ministers in any country 300 years ago. Thank you. إن تاريخ إيران مليئا بالتدخلات السلبية والعدوانية في شؤون الدول العربية، ودائما ما يصاحبه الخراب والدمار وقتل الأرواح البريئة. والمملكة في ظل هذه الحقائق تعلن عن قطع علاقاتها الدبلوماسية مع إيران، وتطلب مغادرة جميع أفراد البعثة الدبلوماسية الإيرانية، السفارة، القنصلية، المكاتب التابعة لها خلال 48 ساعة. وقد تم استدعاء السفير الإيراني لإبلاغه بذلك. شكرا جزيلا.
Very quickly, because we're out of time, and I know you got to run. Donald Trump, the Republican presidential presumptive nominee, he often speaks about Saudi Arabia, what he would do as president. I'm going to play a clip for you, then we'll get your response. This is Donald Trump.
Saudi Arabia, I like the Saudis. They're very nice. I make a lot of money with them. They buy all sorts of my stuff, all kinds of toys from Trump. They pay me millions and hundreds of millions. But you know what? They make $1 billion a day, folks. And whenever they're in trouble, our military takes care. You know, we get nothing.
Nothing. He says you're making $1 billion a day, and the United States takes care of you militarily, and you don't respond in kind.
At least he likes us. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is an ally that carries its own weight. We have always supported ourselves. We have not relied on anyone to provide any assistance to us. When you look at the Gulf War to liberate Kuwait, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia assumed the lion's share of the financial burden of that war. When you look at other operations that have taken place in the region, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia carries its own weight. I believe that when people are in office and the campaign is over and they have access to the facts and access to intelligence briefings, I believe that their views and their opinions are going to reflect the reality of the relationship, not the sound bites that may take place from time to time.
He likes you? You like him?
He provides great products, and people enjoy and buying them and living in them.
Adil El-Jabir is the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia. Welcome to Washington.
When we look at the ideology of extremism, let's look at the pragmatic side of it. Osama bin Laden was dealing with Iran in the 90s and with Hezbollah. After 9/11, Al-Qaeda's senior operatives went to Iran, including Sa'ad bin Laden. Your great nation gave him shelter and support. The order to blow up 3 housing complexes in Riyadh came from Saif al-Adil, the chief of operations for Al-Qaeda, while he was in Iran. This is harboring and sheltering terrorists. Has nothing to do with the ideology. So, we move forward, and we see Al-Qaeda and Daesh. Not one of them has attacked Iran. Why? Everybody else was attacked by them. Could it be because you support them, shelter them, harbor them? Probably yes.
وصف المندوب السعودي في الأمم المتحدة عبدالله المعلمي تصويت مصر في مجلس الأمن حول مشروع القرار الروسي بالمؤلم، وقال إنه من المؤسف أن يكون موقف السنغال وماليزيا في مجلس الأمن أقرب إلى الموقف العربي من موقف مصر.
كان من المؤلم أن يكون الموقف السنغالي والماليزي أقرب إلى الموقف التوافقي العربي من موقف المندوب العربي. هذا بطبيعة الحال كان مؤلما، ولكن أعتقد يوجه السؤال إلى مندوب مصر. كانت تمثيلية مهزلة، تقديم قرار مضاد لم يحصل إلا على 4 أصوات، وأنا أرثي لهؤلاء الجهات التي صوتت لصالح القرار لأنها واجهت رفضا عنيفا وقويا اليوم يوم مظلم بالنسبة للشعب السوري، ولكن الشعب السوري لا يعرف الظلام ولا يعرف اليأس، وسينتصر بإذن الله تعالى.
Iran is completely a joke. We do not forget, and everybody do not forget, that bin Laden is a Saudi citizen and has a strong political and economic relations with inside of the Saudi. I think that everybody does not forget that from the 19 people of the people that committed the 11th of September, 15 people of that 19 was the Saudi citizens. So it seems that, and also now in this room, I think that many people also knows that which country or which countries has supported the Daesh for many years. That's all.
Now on the third issue, the Honorable Consul General from Iran, I didn't say anything that was not based in fact. Doesn't the Iranian constitution say export the revolution? Doesn't the constitution say take care of the Shia, the dispossessed, as you call them? Didn't Iran create Hezbollah? Didn't Iran attack more than a dozen embassies inside Iran in violation of all international laws? We didn't attack them. Iran did. Didn't Iran manage, plan, and execute the 1996 attack in Khobar Towers against the American Marines? Yes, they did. The control officer was Brigadier General Sharifi. You're a military attaché in Bahrain. The bomb maker was Hezbollah. The explosives came from the Bekaa Valley. The top 3 leaders of the plot escaped and have been living in Iran ever since. Isn't that sheltering terrorists? One of them we captured last year in Lebanon with an Iranian passport, not a Saudi passport, even though he's a Saudi citizen. Isn't that aiding and abetting terrorists? We didn't make this up. When the explosions in Riyadh happened in 2003, Saif al-Adl was in Iran along with Saad bin Laden, the chief propaganda person for Al-Qaeda, and 4 or 5 other people, senior leaders. Iran harbored them and protected them. We asked for them to be extradited. It was refused. Some of them are still in Iran. We didn't invent this. This is the fact. The order to blow up 3 housing compounds in Riyadh in 2003 was made by Saif al-Adl, the chief of Al-Qaeda operations, while he was in Iran. We have the phone conversation on tape. We didn't make this up. Ronald Reagan used to say that facts are stubborn things. They are stubborn because we can't get around the fact. Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. Attacking embassies is very clear. They don't just blow themselves up. Somebody does it. Killing diplomats. Diplomats don't commit suicide by shooting themselves 3 times. Somebody's responsible. Iranian agents have been linked to terrorist attacks in Europe, to terrorist attacks in South America. We didn't make this up. This is the world. This is evidence. And so, yes, we wish and hope that Iran, a great nation, can be a great neighbor to us. But it takes 2 to tango. It takes willingness to give up this expansionist, aggressive policies and return to international norms and behaviors if you want people to deal with you. And our hand is extended to Iran. It has been for 35 years. But what we get in return are diplomats killed, embassies blown up, terrorists. We have Iranian agents captured in Saudi Arabia for plotting terrorist attacks. We stopped 4 shipments of weapons that Iran was trying to smuggle to the Houthis in Yemen. We have explosives that Iran tried to smuggle into Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait. This is not fiction. And this is not child's play. This is aggressive behavior. This is unacceptable behavior. This is behavior that violates all norms of international behavior and international law. That's why Iran is designated as a state sponsor of terrorism, and that's why Iran is sanctioned for its support of terrorism, not by us, by the international community. So could it be that the whole world is wrong and Iran is right? Could it be that maybe international law that says peaceful relations and non-interference in the affairs of others is wrong, and Iran's approach of aggressively pursuing your objective, irrespective of how you do it, is correct? I don't think so. So if you want a Saudi official to not be critical of Iran, behave in a way that doesn't expose you to criticism. And so far, your history has been one of death and destruction, disregard for international law, and disregard for principles that have existed since the advent of nations, which is good neighborliness and non-interference in the affairs of others.
أكثر من 100 قتيل وعشرات الجرحى، هل تنكرون هذه الواقعة؟
لا يمكن أن تسأليني بهذه الطريقة. إذا ترين أني أقدر أرد عليك بتوضيح هذا مطلوب. نحن لسنا في تحقيق، نحن طلبتم مداخلة ونود أن نوضح ما سألتم.
ولكن أستاذ أحمد تقول أن الخبر مغلوط، لذلك أسألك هل تنكرون هذا القصف؟
وما زال يقاوم بعد أكثر من 10 أشهر على بدء التحالف الذي يضم العديد من الدول، على ما أعتقد أكثر من 20 دولة، وتقوده الرياض، حملة ربما أدت إلى تحقيق بعض المكاسب. الحملة أطلقت لتحرير صنعاء. بعد 10 أشهر صنعاء ما زالت تحت سيطرة الحوثيين. كيف نفسر ذلك؟
دعيني أذكرك أنه الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية وحلف الناتو قضوا في أفغانستان 11 سنة، وإذا قارنا قوة الميليشيات الحوثية والمخلوع صالح بقوة طالبان فلا يوجد مقارنة، لأنه قيادة التحالف الآن تعمل على مسارين بالتوازي. هي تقاوم أو تمنع الميليشيات الحوثية من إدامة الانقلاب، وتبني حكومة يمنية شرعية اعتبارا من استعادة شرعيتها، إعادة الأمن والاستقرار، المحافظات، بناء الأنظمة الحكومية، وبناء الجيش اليمني الذي قامت الميليشيات وعلي عبدالله صالح على تفكيكه. ولذا العمل الذي أنجز خلال 10 أشهر أو 9 أشهر الماضية يعتبر عمل قياسي وجبار مقارنة بالوضع.
طيب هل
فاتورة يعني هذه الغارات مثلا يعني كم الفاتورة؟
يعني التكلفة يعني؟ نعم. أمن وسلامة اليمن يسوى عندنا أكثر من قيمة العمل العسكري.
You've obviously seen these terrible pictures. Here's one of them. This is an 18-year-old girl who's on the brink of starvation, as you can see.
Well,
but let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Because there are siege-like conditions there. Probably both sides are doing that. Perhaps both sides, because there is international humanitarian aid, not being able to get there fast enough, and what does, as you know, gets siphoned off and used and sold, and money goes in individual pockets. Well, that is the result.
I will comment on this.
No, I want to, yes.
I will comment on this. Maybe, and I'm sure, this photo was taken in Taz, which is a siege by Houthi. Maybe people forget Taz today, does not know about Taz, but they were manipulated by this such photo.
But you believe that's a real person?
No, let me tell you something.
Do you doubt that picture?
Where is it taken?
I don't care. That is somebody.
So this is why we move in Yemen, to avoid this picture to come, to give the population in Yemen their right to be treated well. Are you
saying your war is going to stop that?
No, look, now there is a country, and this woman is among those countries hijacked by a criminal group who want to implement their force in spite of the price.
Do you accept any responsibility? Because obviously, as I said, there are siege-like conditions by both sides.
International community responsibility. If we do not resolve the problem of Yemen, all of us is responsible. We ask all the humanitarian group to go to Taz, and today, in your camera, I will say, the one who want to go to Taz to solve those kind of picture, tomorrow we receive him. Where they are from Yemen, unfortunately, they are a distance from Yemen.
General Ahmad Asiri, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I have to set the record straight on a couple of points first, if I may. You said in the introduction that the British government gives Saudi Arabia $4 billion worth of weapons. Nobody gives us any weapons. We pay for our weapons with our own money, and this money goes into the British economy and other economies, and they create jobs and they benefit the countries that sell us those weapons.
Understood.
And secondly,